Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater, and today I am holding a Shure SM7B, or am I? Let's find out. Today I've got two microphones here. One of them is an SM7B, and the other one is an SM7B with a little something extra. This is actually the new SM7DB. It's an active dynamic microphone. It has a preamplifier boost circuit built into it. We're going to take a little closer look today, and we'll be comparing the two of them as well. Now, the SM7B, of course, super popular for podcasting, for live streaming, for broadcast, but also for recording vocals in the studio, for recording guitar amplifiers. It's a very versatile microphone, but one of the things about it, actually a couple of things about it. The original SM7B is a completely passive dynamic microphone, and it has a fairly low output. So that means that you need either a microphone preamp that can deliver 60 dB of gain or more to get good results with it, or what we often do is combine the SM7B with an active preamplifier or an inline booster. This is a Cloudlifter, one of the original boosters, the CL1, that delivers 25 dB of gain. So with this inline, you get a nice clean boost to your signal. But with the SM7DB, Shure has actually included that right inside the microphone. So this looks exactly like the SM7B. In fact, it is pretty much exactly the same as an SM7B. We've got flat, wide-range frequency response from 50 Hz to 20 kHz. We've got strong proximity effect. We've got great rejection of noise. There is an air suspension inside this that provides a shock mount to, again, cut down on handling noise. It has an integrated pop filter, so when you're doing spoken vocals or sung vocals, you can control those plosives. It has that classic cardioid polar pattern, so it picks up right in front, and then the pickup drops off as you move around behind the microphone, so that allows for great isolation. It's even the same weight as the original SM7B, and it has the same sensitivity as well. So we're talking two microphones that, in passive mode, are completely identical. If we shift around to the back of the microphone, you can see there are two additional switches here compared to the original SM7B. The original SM7B has a bass cut and a presence boost switch, and those are included here as well. But the additions are the bypass switch, which turns off the internal active electronics and basically makes the signal path completely passive. And then we've also got a switch that selects how much boost we get out of those active electronics, either 18 dB or 28 dB. The circuit in here is extremely clean. The equivalent noise of this preamp is down 130 dB, so it's way down there, basically inaudible. And because you can run the preamplifier on your interface or your microphone preamp even lower, you're going to reduce that noise as well. Plus, that internal active preamp isolates this microphone from the impedance of the preamplifier. And so as you change impedance, if you have a microphone preamp that allows for that, you're not going to change the sound of this microphone. It basically isolates it and makes it perform the same, gives you that great consistency that you want out of this mic. So to summarize, basically the only thing that Shure has done is added that active preamplifier boost circuit inside the microphone. That takes care of that low output level, helps to isolate things. It does require that you have phantom power in your microphone preamp, but again, most microphone preamps are going to have that, or audio interfaces, so that's not really an issue. What really matters is have they changed the sound. So what we'll do is we'll record the SM7B, then we'll record the SM7DB in passive mode, and then we'll select some of the other features so you can hear the differences that those make as well. So this is the Shure SM7B, the original dynamic microphone, and it's running directly into my Apollo X4 audio interface. Now I'm having to crank up the gain all the way to get this level out of it with the level that I'm speaking at. This means that we're operating in the top range of the preamp, and with any preamp, when you're doing that, you're going to get extra noise out of the preamp, and I can hear some of that in the background of my headphones even as we're working right here. But that's what's required to get a nice strong level into my DAW using the original SM7B dynamic microphone. This is our original Shure SM7B dynamic microphone, but I've connected it to the Cloudlifter CL1 and then run that into the Apollo X4's preamp. This allows me to run the X4's preamp much lower because I'm getting that additional 25 dB of gain from the Cloudlifter, makes the signal cleaner. It's a much stronger signal that's feeding straight into my DAW. Because the Cloudlifter is so clean, we're not getting any coloration in the signal. It's just making the gain higher so that we can feed a nice strong signal into our audio interface. And this is pretty much a standard combination these days. You run the SM7B into a Cloudlifter or a Royer D-Boost or a Soyuz booster. There are any number of boosters out there. The SE Electronics Dynamite is another one. Many different choices, but they all do the same thing. They're raising that level up to get a nice strong signal into your DAW. Now we're listening to the Shure SM7DB microphone. This is the new model that has the active electronics built in, but I've actually got those bypassed. So we're hearing this as a dynamic microphone, and it's virtually identical to an original SM7B. I still have to crank the gain way up to get a strong signal into my DAW, my audio interface, but it sounds basically identical to the original microphone. Now you're hearing the SM7DB microphone with the active electronics on, and we've got 18 dB of boost coming from the internal electronics. This allows me to run my microphone preamp on the X4 much lower, so I'm getting a nice clean signal, nice strong signal out of this microphone, but a lot of that heavy lifting is being handled by that 18 dB of gain that's internal. Now what you're hearing is the Shure SM7DB with 28 dB of boost from the onboard electronics. This allows me to run the microphone preamp in my X4 way down low. So we're getting a nice clean signal there. We're getting a nice strong signal out of the microphone. It's a great combination, and it's all built right into the mic. We don't need to have a separate piece of gear. Now you're hearing the Shure SM7DB microphone with the exact same gain settings. I've got 28 dB of gain coming out of the microphone. I've got my microphone preamp in the X4 set exactly the same, but I've engaged the bass cut, the low cut filter. This is reducing the low frequencies. It lets me get closer in on the microphone without having such a bass buildup. So this is really great if you want to control rumble, if you've got a voice that's too deep, if someone's really eating the microphone, you can control that bottom end using that low cut. Once again, we've got the exact same settings, 28 dB of internal gain, but in this case, I've got the mid-emphasis or the presence control turned on. So that's boosting that upper mid-range in that 2K up to about 6K range. Gives me even more intelligibility. It helps to really cut through the mix because we've got more of that upper mid-range going on. I've turned off the low cut so the low frequencies are restored so we can still get that really deep bottom end if we want it, but we've got that extra emphasis in the upper mids that really helps the voice cut through. Okay, just to be complete, in this setting, I've got the 28 dB of gain on, I've got the low cut on, so we're reducing those low frequencies, and I've also got the mid-emphasis or the presence control turned on for that extra articulation and cut. So that's what this microphone sounds like with all the filters engaged in 28 dB of gain. Again, this is a very useful setting because we get that nice big bottom end out of the microphone if we get close up on it, but we've still got that upper mid-range push for articulation and for cut as well. And with that onboard gate, we're getting a nice, strong, clean signal into our audio interface. Very cool. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the SM7DB. This is a super exciting microphone. The SM7 is so popular for good reason, and with those internal electronics, this becomes even more powerful and more versatile in the studio, for broadcast, for podcasting, for live streaming, however you're using it. Fantastic microphone. Everything we love about the SM7B, plus that output boost is built right in. If you have questions about the original SM7B, the SM7DB, any of Shure's products, be sure to jump over to sweetwater.com. All the information you need is right there. Then contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. They'll be able to guide you through all the choices of Shure microphones and make sure you have the perfect microphone for your applications, for your studio, or for your live rig. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater.